Building an integrated talent management suite within your human capital function is essential for getting the best out of your talent. Bob Angel, president of the Guilford Group Limited, argued the case for integration in a recent HCI webcast, underwritten by Lawson.
Let's talk about the components in order. So first of all, the value of integrated talent management as far as talent acquisition practices are concerned. My consulting practice tends to dwell more on talent retention, but of course the first step in talent retention is making sure that you hire people properly, hire the right people in the first place. So I'm going to work through this from the point of view of somebody who is really interested in retaining good talent once we've got it, and also in using the talent, first of all, to satisfy the talent in our people's own career objectives, and then secondly to, and just as important, to satisfy the goals of the organization. Now, there are a couple of obstacles to doing this, and one of them is that with the best will in the world, however much we want to achieve performance from doing things, it is actually quite hard to get that performance to happen. And this is substantiated by some research that I did back in 2007 with just under 2,000 chief financial officers and controllers, who are generally the people who manage the performance management process. And what it showed in a cross-section of small, medium, and large organizations is that while about a third of them had implemented a performance measurement tool like a balanced scorecard or something similar, while half of them had said that it had improved their performance significantly, the other half said that it really hadn't made any difference to the results that they were achieving. The other obstacle is the culture. And we find that when we're trying to change something, whatever the change is, and this is a fairly large change from going to a manual or piecemeal integrated piecemeal talent management system to an integrated technology-based talent management system. This will be a change for the HR function, and it will be a change for all our customers out there in the rest of the organization. So if our organization tends to be hierarchical and have a command and control mentality, then it's going to be very difficult to get the culture to accept the difference. And we may find that we have to work much more diligently to get acceptance to the new process and also to achieve the results that we're looking for. Now, there's a third obstacle, which is the CEO's mind share. So you're going to need, in order to tackle the other 2 points, you're going to need the support of your chief executive officer. And typically, the CEO's mindset is not necessarily going to be based around this project. The CEO is going to be much more concerned about customers and sales goals and how the operations are working. And the support functions like HR management tend to come quite a way down the road. So the value statements in your business case are going to be really key in appealing to the CEO and seeing that the integrated talent management solution that you're going to be installing is actually going to have an effect on the things that the CEO cares most about, like sales productivity, customer care, and product and service innovation. Now, let's talk about the building of the actual business value in the business case. The first point I want to make is that we tend to take a very transactional transactional view of the world, and in building value creation strategies, it's my belief that we need to look at it on 3 different levels. The second thing is that the benefit statements will tend to be different according to which part of the organization we're talking to. So the things that will appeal to the CEO are things that affect the organization strategy, what the customers are doing and how they feel about us, what the competition is doing, and how that's affecting us, and how we can affect the competition's competitive strategy and advantage, the style of management of the organization and how that might be changing, and also if we're a public company, how does that affect our stock price. Now, going on to the second learning, then we need to look at some of the indicators, and one of the good places to look is where turnover rates have been experienced in the past, and they will help us predict where things are going to happen in the future. So in this actual example, it supports the dictum that people don't leave the company, they leave their supervisor. So the biggest contributor to people leaving actually was not pay, it was not personal circumstances like overseas travel or going back to school or becoming a parent. It was really the performance of the manager or the supervisor. We also should be familiar with some of the other performance mechanisms within the organization, like dashboards. The picture is an example of a typical sales-oriented dashboard that deals with customers. Volume-based metrics are important. I mean, it's important to know that our retention rates are going up or going down, our absentee rates are going up or going down, how they're comparing against that budget and latest forecasts. Another thing we need to know is where the performance is actually going in the organization. This is taken from a survey that was done about 7 years ago, and it's still pretty valid. And it said that 63% of the performance potential was actually realized, meaning that 37% was actually left on the table and was not being realized. And that was made up of a number of things, the largest of which was that we didn't have the right resources, or they weren't available. And then 5%, or just over 5%, was because we were very poor at communicating strategy. And then also we weren't defining the actions that needed to be done to execute the strategy. And the talent management system itself should be built around, in my view, the balanced scorecard approach, which deals with input, the ones that we've already talked about, the vision and the objectives and the metrics and the individual targets and the actions, and then the outputs being the goals for individuals and departments that are actionable, and like the integrated talent management system, are integrated across the organization. Now, if you can do all of those things, then I think you're well on the way to having a talent management system that really matches the business needs.